really randomly, I've just decided this idea and I'm going to discuss it with you now. So obviously, I kind of have a big physical TBR. Okay, that's kind of an understatement. There are so many books on there. But the good news is that so many of them I really badly want to read. Like, there are so many that the problem is that there's not enough time in the day for me to read all the ones I want to read. However, there are a few books that every single time I look at them, I'm like, ooh, maybe just because I'm intimidated by them, maybe because when I bought them, I really did want it, and then everyone was talking about how they just did not like it. So that's what we're kind of dealing with here. And oh, I need to add another book on here. Hang on. There are a few that I have maybe purchased with the intent of reading them, and then after I've heard some bad things about them. So for example, I'm gonna just give you one. That's the book I just added. It's called My Dark Romeo. I bought this book because I thought it was a literary fiction. It is not. And all I've heard basically since then is about how bad the book is. I am like, oh, wow, that's really great. So anyways, I saw this girl, let me try to find her YouTube channel, right? And she did this thing, it was like, read it and unhaul it. I'm finding it. Read it or unhaul it. There's this one girl's video, I saw it. No, where is it? Okay, why is there like 1 million people? Okay, 1 million people do this, but the person who I first saw do this and who I got this idea from that's who I got this idea from. I don't know if there's other people. There's so many people who've done this idea, but she's just the person who I saw do it. And so I was like, oh, wait, I'll do that. So anyways, I have made 3 kind of sections. Okay, and I'm gonna have like 3 prompt jars, if you will. 1, books I've been avoiding. 2, classics. I really love classics. I think that there is something so magical about reading a classic book. When I think about my favorite books of last year, several of them were classics. In fact, I think one of my, like, I don't know, if not favorite books of the year last year was Crime and Punishment. That book. Not a day goes by that I don't think about Raskolnikov and just the state of affairs of that book. I love Anna Karenina. Okay, sorry, getting sidetracked, but classics. But I feel like sometimes I just look at them and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know because I buy them because I'm interested in them and then I don't read them, you know? And then I have another section of just other books I've been avoiding because let me tell you, there's been quite a few. So in this series of Read It and Unhaul It, books I've been avoiding, we're going to read 3 books this month. So, okay, it's currently nearing the end of January, but this is going to be for February. And then in February, I'm going to pick 3 and then we have to read them. And then in the month, if by the end of February, I have not read the 3 books, then we're going to have to unhaul it. And I've never unhauled a single book in my entire life, ever. I've never unhauled a book. For an example, I still have my childhood books with me. Bear with me here. Let me just show it to you. These are my childhood books, okay? See, look at the old editions. Actually, I love the Wizard of Oz. I really did, but I still have my childhood books with me. So I do not unhaul things. Meaning, whatever 3 books we get, I'm going to read. Now, there are 2 books on here that I am the most intimidated by, and I did not put them on here because I'm gonna still get it done. We have Moby Dick and The Count of Monte Cristo. I am in the middle of The Count of Monte Cristo. I have literally started a reading vlog for that from last year, and I was supposed to read it in March last year. Did I? No. Okay, it's gonna be March this year and I'm still not gonna finish it. But there's also a few other books that I'm looking. There's so many books that when I really think about it, I'm kind of avoiding a little bit. But I reckon we just start with this. Start with these ones. I think this is manageable tasks. Also, didn't do it last month. There's only gonna be 11 books in like each pile because yeah, we'll get 1 from each section a month. That will be 33 books that I've kind of been avoiding or like wouldn't pick up on my own terms because all the rest of them, like I want to read so badly. So should I go through them with you? Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get them and I'm going to show you the ones that I'm avoiding and then go from there. There's actually quite a lot of books now that I'm thinking about it. So the ones that I haven't put on here but I am avoiding is The Things We Left Behind and Things We Had from the Light. I'm avoiding those ones. I need to read those. I'm going to read these this year. Like quite soon actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to read them next month. I was like, what is that on my bed? It's just my charger. And also another thing, I bought the entire Off-Campus series. Actually today, I need to buy paintbrushes. I need to buy paintbrushes because I'm going to make sprayed edges myself because I ordered them with the blue sprayed edges. They didn't come with blue sprayed edges, so I bought an entire thing of like paints. So cheap because I don't really care if I'm gonna spray paint them. I'm gonna paint them myself. Because you can, because I saw some girls video on how to do it. So I'm gonna do that. I think February should be the month of like me clearing out books that I don't really want to read. Okay, see, I get sidetracked. But this is my plan. Oh, do any of you know what this is down here? This, Jamovi, was almost the death of me. It was almost the death of me last year. If If I never have to do statistics again, I will be so happy. Okay, let me just bear with me here, and then I'll show you all the books that I've been avoiding. Oh yeah, I'm already making a stack, but say hypothetically I happen to read one of the books that are on the list I've been, like, or the ones I've been avoiding. That's completely fine, even if it's not part of this, like, challenge. What I have to do instead is just take out that prompt and then replace, or I guess not even take it out, I guess just leave it in there, and then if I pull it, we'll just, like, not use it, but then replace it with a different book that I've been avoiding. So then essentially there'll still be like 11 books, but like that would be wonderful if I got to read these on my own terms, but I don't think I don't think I will, but if I do, that's great. Do I think I will? No. But if that does happen, I'll just pick another book and put it to the pile. We're still getting 33 books done by the end of this series, and the only rule is that they have to be on my physical TBR. Like, these ones have had to be my physical TBR, so I cannot just like cheat and like buy a new book and then be like, oh, let me just put it here. No, it can only be the ones that have been on my physical TBR that are right now, nothing new. Okay, that's, yeah. So this is the first stack. We're starting off with Strange Practice. I bought this on a whim because I saw someone be like, no, this book is so good. And then, I don't know, I just didn't have any desire to read it. My Policeman. I want to read this. I don't know why I haven't. I'm scared it's going to be sad. The House Witch. I'm pretty sure I accidentally bought this. So, I don't know. It's just, I read the synopsis and stuff, and I'm just not intrigued. Then we have It. I've literally started this book when I was like 14, 15. I guess I'm gonna have to restart it because I don't remember a single thing about it. When I seen the movie, but like, whatever. 5-star. Again, I started this, and I think I started this when I was 17. Got my bookmark. No, we'll have to read this. There's a lot of Stephen King books on here because when I didn't know what I liked reading in my second half of life, second half of life, that sounded really ominous. We have The Green Mile. Then we have The Outsider. I bought this for the cover. Don't even know why that was a recent purchase. The Shining. The Night Shift. The Institute, and then Give the Dark My Love. I got this book for like, it was like $5, and I've never heard anyone talk about this, and I don't know. This, whoops, that didn't sound good. This is the second stack. We have Julia. Okay, these are more like the classic kind of books. This is not necessarily a classic, but it's based on a classic, and I want to read this, and I just haven't. Then we have Around the World in 8 Days. This is like the illustrated edition. I don't know. Then we have this. We have The Awakening. The Awakening's quite short, so I'll only be reading The Awakening and not... Oh, actually, I said it was quite short. I don't think it is. Oh, I don't actually think it is. I was like, oh, no, it's like, I don't know. And then we have Mansfield Park, Rebecca, Jane Eyre, A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations. Ow! Just smacked into my foot. Okay, we have The Idiot and Northanger Abbey. Ow. Guys, look at that. Look at that divot. Ow. There's something quite freeing in knowing that by the end of the year, all these books will either be read or be gone. Something quite freeing about that. This is the last stack. These are, again, just books I've been avoiding. So we have this. I bought this for the kind of the October time. Did I read it in October time? No. Elantris. I don't know. I don't know. I just need to read this. A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know why I bought this. I was thinking, oh, I was feeling nostalgic and this was recommended to me on my eBay, so I bought it. And then we have My Darling Dreadful Thing. I was so excited for this, and then I saw so many reviews of people being like, so anticlimactic, so underwhelming, and I was like, oh. But you can't just be letting what people say affect your opinion. Then we have Huntington's Dracula. I don't know. I thought that this series was kind of interconnected. Well, not even interconnected. I thought it was just like standalones, part of the greater picture. No, this is like fully a series. Sorry, someone just knocked on my door. Here, let me just fix up her thing. I squashed her bed. Okay, it's my blanket, but come on, Billy, let me sort this out. You can go whatever you want to. And then I realized it's like it's a sequel, like it's a series, and I was like, oh, I don't know. So I read this. I didn't read this. I bought this, and it just threw me off because they look like siblings. They look like siblings, and that just has thrown me off. And also, look at the author. You're telling me this is not a self-insert? So, I don't know. There's something wrong with that, but I'm saying. We have Ricochet. I know that the Addicted/Calorie Sister series is like very popular. I read the first one a few years ago, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I got this one, and if I like it, I might have the next one. I have the Reaper. It's part of the Darkverse series. The first one, it was like alright, like it was trying really hard to be dark and I thought it was hilarious. Count of Missing Girls shoots up to 25. That sounds quite interesting. So there's that one. My Dark Romance. This is one I thought was a literary fiction. I was so excited. And then it's like, and it's actually like a romance, and apparently it's really cringy. So I was like, oh, fantastic. And then we have Shady Hollow. I don't know. I actually don't know why. I just saw Hussy. Apparently it's about like animals. And then we have The World Winnie Peg and Me. I bought this because I like the cover and like the title. But do I suspect I will like the inside here? And I started reading it. Well, I started listening to the audiobook and I did not like it. So I was like, I don't know. There's something quite freeing knowing that by the end of this year, these are all going to be read or gone. Very freeing about that. And I'm very excited to go on this journey with you because these are just books that I bought at one point, so it's time to just see it through. I will see you on the 1st of February, but I'm very excited. Hi, so it's actually still the same day, but I just realized you're gonna see me write down all the little names and titles on a piece of paper so that when February 1st does come around in 5 days, we can see it. Guys, that Jane Eyre book did like damage. What is that? It doesn't hurt, but like, yeah. These are all the 33 books that I have been avoiding for some reason or another. That one is books I've been avoiding, that one is classics, and then that one is more, I guess, books I've been avoiding. It's very satisfying to know that all of these are going to be gone by the end of the year, whether that's by unhauling, which I don't think I'll do, or by like actually reading them finally, because sometimes you just need like the extra push and motivation to read them. So I'm gonna fold all these up, and then I have a confession. Even though technically it's still January, I'm feeling really excited, and I just wanna know what we're gonna be reading next month. So even though it's the same day, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see February 1st. I guess I'll start the book February 1st, but I am going to open them tonight. After I fill them all up, because I just want to know what 3 books. And I'm going to put them all in like, something. I'm thinking my like old TBR jar, which is no longer. I'm not doing that anymore because it's too stressful because I'm a mood reader to my very soul. But this is different because these are books that it's like, just they need to be read. So I think I'm gonna put it in there. But yeah, I'm gonna pick one of each color each month. So, because originally I was gonna have 3 separate things, and I was like, that is just going to take up too much space, so they're all going in one now. But that's the plan. All right. Honestly, me rediscovering these rediscovering these books is actually making me want to read them. So I think I'm gonna be fine with any of the 3 books I'll be picking out, because all of them, now that I'm actually looking at them, I'm like, wait, why is that still on my TBR? Like, I want to read that. So I had to take out a few lollipops from this because it was very full, but I'm going to, this is the last one. I'm going to put this lid on. Okay, that did not go very well. Everything is now overflowing. It's okay, I'm shoving everything back in there. Whoops, this one just fell out. So I'm going to pick out a yellow one, a blue one, and a pink one. So I'm just going to, the first one can be completely like, I don't know which color I'm going with because it doesn't matter. But, oh, which one do I, this is so exciting, you guys. This is the first one. Which one is it? What does that say? Julia. Okay, that's exciting. That's been a book that's been on my radar since 2022, so I didn't buy it until last year, but still it's been on my radar since 2022, so that'll be interesting. So now it's time for like a pink one. I'm just gonna like reach in here again and hope that I pick out something that's not a blue one, and if not, I'll just have to put it back in. What color is that? Okay, that's blue. Is this a yellow one? It isn't the yellow one. Okay, what does that say? The Perfectly Proper Paranormal Museum. Okay, now it's a pink one. Guys, this is exciting. I'm actually excited to like read these books. This is a pink one. What are the chances of that? What does that say? The Outsider. No, this is okay. This is okay. This book won an award one year. So, this is actually good news. Yes, this is good news. So I think we have a good first batch of books for February. No, this is good. The only one I'm apprehensive about is this one. But like I said, if I don't read it by, it's not a leap year this year, is it? If I don't read it by February 28th, then bye. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So looks like I'm going to be reading these 3 books. This is exciting, and I cannot wait for the rest of the year, because all of them at some point, whether I read it next month or in December, all of them are going to be read. And like I said, if I happen to read some that are on this list, well then what I'll do is I'll just, you know, add in some more books that I've been like avoiding. So this is actually quite exciting. I'm excited to do this because it's just like an extra little fun little way, and it's almost kind of like I'm doing the TBR prompts, because I used to do TBR prompts in this jar, but then I would just look at it and just be nervous because I'd want to read other books. So this is like, kind of like bringing it back, except they're small, manageable, and I need to read these. Let me gather the books, even though it's not, I just want to, it's not even February 1st yet, and I'm not going to be reading these books until February 1st because I actually have other books that I need to finish. Well, in my own mind, I'd like to finish before January ends. Thank you for everyone who's ever done this idea, because it's made me want to do it. And I know that other people, they do it with their entire physical TBR, but like I said, there's so many books on that like I really want to read, so I just feel like it's better to just do it with the ones that I am kind of avoiding the most. I feel like in this series, so obviously our selections is this, and this. I feel like to ease myself into this, I kind of want to, okay, my head's just cut off. I'm just like in the old Tom and Jerry, you know, when that also didn't have any heads. But I'm going to start off this because it's less than 300 pages. I feel like I'll be more motivated to read these 2, knowing that I just have one off my TBR, because you know what, if I don't read them, or maybe it was better if we didn't have my face in there, we're going to get rid of them, you know. When Maddie's career flatlines, she goes to her wine country hometown, over into managing the local paranormal museum. She thinks that the haunting is exaggerated, but then a fresh corpse in the museum embroils Maddie in murders past and present, making her wonder if her ghost could really be on the loose. Her high school bullies are the detectives, shouts justice, her best friend is arrested, she grapples with ghost hunters, taxidermists, the motorcyclist next door. She struggles with the spectral shenanigans with the hunt killer. She discovers there truly is no place like home. I like the fact there's a cat on the cover. The poor bird in the cage. I feel like that's a symbol for something. There's also, is that a voodoo doll? Not the voodoo doll with pins in it. I actually quite like this cover, like all the different things on it. Oh, is someone called Adele? Hello from the other side. Actually, okay, you know what song I was listening to yesterday? I was listening to Someone Like You. On repeat, I was listening to Thank You by Dido and I Don't Want to Live Forever. I was screaming at that line. They're wondering if you dodged a bullet or just lost all of your life. I was screaming at that line. But yeah, those were the 3 songs that I just kept listening to on repeat yesterday. Anyways, if you look, the margins, this book is like quite big, but like look how small, look at that. Hang on, where's the small book that I have? Let's compare this. Oh, my hair looks, I don't know. Oops, okay. So this is a small book that I have, right? Called In the Company of Witches. So chapter 1, Friendship Can Be Mindful, right? So this could really be, hang on, no, surely it's not going to be. Okay. No. Look at those pools on the carpet. You just want, she always does that when she wants pats. Anyways, back to this. Look. So it's really quite an overly large book for, okay, this should be fine to read then. Okay, we're on page 1 and we've already been introduced to 2 friends, so found family. Leather-clad bikers in rough and tumble cowboys rub shoulders along the polished wooden bar. I was home. Okay, I'm going back to this, right, because I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm feeling like I want to mention it. So, a guy is admiring her friend. Literally, there is beard dribbling down his chin because he's just like in awe. And she's like, I didn't bother being jealous. Blue eyes and fair, freckled Central European skin were my heritage.
Alright. I liked burritos and country bars in my 58 Ford pickup. She's a small town girl. Does someone want this? Don't be mean. Don't be mean. We're literally on page 3, okay? So this is her friend. This is what her friend says, okay? It's a good thing Daddy doesn't believe in take-backs after you know who did you know what. How old are these people? Well, okay, I'm assuming, I don't know where this is, but they're drinking in an establishment. So they have to be at least 18 years old. Dear Lord. No, they have to be of reasonable age because she literally has an ex-fiance. I can salvage this. So what I'm going to do is just annotate. Wow, look at my annotation so far. Don't look too closely. And you know what? This is my book that I paid for. You're ruining the book. Okay. I'm gonna need this. I need to do this. I'm literally on page 3 and I'm struggling. Okay, I really need this pen. You know what? Annotating books that you don't like, it's just such a therapeutic experience because you can just like, anytime it's a stupid thing and it's like, why would you say that? You get to like, you get to attack the characters. So it's like, you know, anger management, really. There are so many books that I cannot wait to get out my pen because I've been avoiding them. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, you should never bought them in the first place. But like, I bought them because I thought I was gonna like it, you know? So I get my pen out and, well, me not this pen. Hang on, I'm kidding. Because here's the thing. Oh, hang on. I wanted my room to be nicer, okay? These are her things. I wanted my room to be nicer, but I will have to put down her bedding because she likes my bathrobes on my blankets. But right now she's liking the bathrobes. Okay, but by me annotating them and annotating these books, I'm getting them off because otherwise they're just gonna sit there. And honestly, there's something very therapeutic about just... Okay, so a cow has been set on fire. Well, that was like their giant attractions, you know, the giant flaming Christmas cow. Our main character is like, next time I'll bring marshmallows if I know. That's an animal.
Okay, this is future me here, and I'm actually really confused because then at the end of the book, it was like, it's actually like a straw cow. So I was like, what?
So just say you hate animals because what? That is not the mention of the tarot readings. Let me live. The light from the motorcycle shop next door spilled onto the sidewalk. I stopped in front of the shop's window, blowing into my clenched hands for warmth and admiring a baby blue Harley. I'd never ride one. They were too dangerous. But they sure were pretty. Okay, so the first chapter is over. And, okay, they just walked into the place and, yeah, a woman is dead on the ground. So that's at least what, you know, we're getting somewhere. However, all I can say is now I know why this was sitting on my TBR. I know why it was. I'm literally 12 pages in and I feel like I'm in severe pain. We have a long way to go. How long do I have left? The author is just staring at me on the back. Now I feel guilty for attacking the book. Don't worry, I know how I'm gonna fix it. I just feel guilty. Like, when the author's just staring at me, it's like, please. There we go. Now I don't feel as guilty. I feel like if you really like... Well, you've heard what I've read out. If you like that sort of, like, quirky... You'll love this. If I'm feeling like I'm being too mean, I'll try to turn it down and I'll be nice. But, like, guys, you need to know in case you want to be reading this. No disrespect to the author, but it's just... It's a huge accomplishment writing a book. Oh, the homewrecker died. Guys, I found my favorite character. Something small and black shot towards me. I shrieked, troubled, and fell. I fell on my butt. A black cat arched its back, hissing at me. One of its paws raised to strike. Favorite animal? Striker. Dig your little claws in, okay? I love cats. If you feel bad about me saying that, don't worry. I too have been scratched. Do you see that small little scratch on my hand? Yes. And I was like, it's a GD cat. And our main character is like, GD for gosh darned. Please. Is that, okay, I swear, was this not the lady who was, come on now. Or am I just imagining things? I swear that this woman is a cheater, the homewrecker.
Wait, things aren't painful in chapter 2. Things have gotten better. Oh, they have a planchette on the front cover. I changed my mind. The way that I've lost my bookmark in this, I feel like it's a sign. But I know that I read this page because I annotated it. Honestly, this annotation is actually quite nice. See, this is what I said. I said, that's cool. Maybe I like this. I spoke too soon. But, okay, let me talk about this. Okay, I'm very interested in the artifacts of this museum. There are so many cool artifacts. There's this colorfully painted magic scroll from Ethiopia believed to entrap evil spirits. A tattered copy of an occult journal from the 19th century. A Victorian mourning ring that's said to attract the ghost of the woman whose hair was woven into the band. Okay, yeah, I think I read that. I read this part. What? No, okay, I'm up to this page. I'm up to page 40. Okay, I'm just gonna fold it down. Because I can see a bookmark here. But no, I'm folding the page down. You're ruining the book! You're ruining the book! I feel as though this book has so much potential. And it's just the way certain lines and situations are being executed. I'm like, this could have been so good. I'm literally on page 40. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, if it wasn't for this video, I'd be saying bye-bye to this book. But, you know, that I think about, I spent my hard-earned money on this. So it's like, I have to read it. You know, I have to read it. Got a cute cover as well. So I'm going to read this. It's a series. I'm 100% not reading the next ones. But, you know, I feel like this book, it could have been so good. But I just feel as though I don't know if it's necessarily for me. I don't know. I'm actually interested in the artifacts of the museum, and I wish there was more about it. I wish we got the backstory about how the museum came into contact with these artifacts, how the museum got them. You know what would have been actually really interesting? If there was like some sort of explorer type figure in this book, and their job was to go and explore the world and travel and find specific artifacts, and then we know all the lore and the backstory and how they get the artifacts, and, you know, learn from the people whose culture it belongs to, or maybe not even collect the artifacts, just like go and explore and then write a research book about it, and not even just like keep them sort of this dusty museum, just go around and explore, figure out where specific artifacts are, go and explore, and then write about it, and then put it in a book and then publish it. Like, I don't know, I feel like that would be interesting to see, because, you know, that's my favorite part about the artifacts so far. And there's the whole, like, you know, the person ended up murdered in the museum, and I have two suspects. Actually, I have three. I have three suspects about who I think killed this person, and as I'm reading, I will narrow it down to one, because there's different ways, you know, and different people could have different motives. So, actually, wouldn't it be cool if it was secretly the main character, and we didn't know? It's not going to be. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking so far. This book it could be so good, but I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna persevere. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna get this book finished, because I read it or unhaul it, you know, and it's just we have to finish reading it. I want to know what's gonna happen, and I want to know if my theories are correct. What happened to this king? When did I do this to it? Poor Ashes and the Star Curse King. I actually like this book so far. I'm only a little bit in. Oh, see, am I 40 pages into this? I am. I'm literally 38 pages into this, and I'm already enjoying this so much more than this one. Okay, sorry, we're not comparing things, but anyways, let's put that down. Let's talk about the outsider, actually, while we're just sitting here. So, because the outsider is part of the same book. Also, guys, let me explain something. I got a library card for my local library. I literally thought it closed down, and then, whatever, I got a library card. And I was looking for audiobooks. No audiobook for this. No audiobook for the Perfectly Paranormal Museum. There was an audiobook for Julia, which is the other book we're supposed to be reading this. And I was so excited about it, right? So, you know, last night I got on it. I'm ready to listen to it. It's all in German. So I, in fact, cannot listen to it. Because sometimes with books that I'm finding it difficult to get through, if I just put on the audiobook, I'm just able to just immerse myself into it. And I can do other things, so it doesn't feel like a complete waste of my time, because it's like, okay, well, yeah, I hate this book, but I'm not wasting my time reading it, because I'm actually doing the laundry, I'm actually eating, I'm actually cleaning, I am traveling somewhere, which that time I could just be spending in silence. I honestly feel like there are different people in this world. I feel like, because I was discussing this with my friends, so typically if I am doing something like chores, cleaning, whatever, I will listen to an audiobook doing it. My friends, they will listen to music while they do things like that. And another one of my friends, she loves listening to podcasts, so she'll listen to podcasts while she does things like that. And I just think
It's just interesting. Oh, I have another friend, and she will listen to like, well, not like Focus, but like TV shows and movies that she's kind of like already seen or she has seen but doesn't like it, and just be on like in the background. Anyways, this book, I just feel like I just need to get this book over and done with. I'm up to page 36. We still have, it's only the 14th today, okay? It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. But it's Valentine's Day, so we still have tons of time left before the end of February, which I'm really glad about because I don't want to be getting to the end of January. This better not be foreshadowing, by the way. But I don't want to get to the end and be like, guys, I haven't read any of the books. Or the last few days of January. Am I saying the right ones here? No. The last few days of February and being like, I have to like actually spend my time reading. No. If I just go through them slowly but surely, we'll get through it. So the entire premise of this book is very interesting. So basically, this man, he has been, you know, they've put him in jail, right? Because they suspect that he has committed this heinous, horrendous crime, right? There's, what does it say here? Watertight evidence points to a single suspect. Okay, but here's where it is. He was 70 miles away with an ironclad alibi. So it's like, how can this man be in two places at once? And I'm curious, is there going to be, this is what I'm thinking, is this going to be like a parallel timeline, weird glitch in the Matrix situation? Is it? Or some sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't put it past Stephen King to do some sort of weird cloning thing. Like, was this man cloned in a lab? Does he have, I don't know, an evil twin? No, I don't think that would be the route that it's going down. But it does have a very interesting premise, and I do want to know, like, what's going on. Like, I'm reading this and I'm like, well, okay, I actually want to know what's happening. So I'm actually surprised by this because I just didn't think I just didn't expect it. But I'm actually very curious about what's going to happen. So out of the books so far, I'm definitely liking this one much more than the Paranormal Museum one. Haven't even started, Julia. I'll get to that book when I get to it. But I do want to know what's happening because it's like, how can this man be in two places at once? How can that be, you know? So I just want to know what's going to happen. And that's my updates so far. I hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day. I just ran into that. Ow. It's the 21st of February, and I haven't finished any of the 3 books. Really, I think Julia is my best hope. However, I did believe that I had an audiobook of this. It was not. It was in German. Anyways, this is my best bet because I'm going to need to finish the Paranormal Museum. I think I might try to read 50 pages today and just slowly get through it. And then for The Outsider, just, again, get through a little bit of it. Maybe I'll get through 50 pages of the Paranormal Museum first before Julia. Okay. Actually, I'm going to read up to page 100 because I'm currently at this page. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Read up to a page 100. This book is like not that long. So if I just keep doing that, then I'll get it done in a few days. Okay. I'm pretty sure you already bought the place. You bought it for $1. Okay, I'm stopping at page 100, even though it is literally in the middle of conversation. But this book, it genuinely has so much potential. And at this point, like, I'm just reading because I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know how everything's going to unfold. And there's like a little mini kind of mystery thing with this like photograph that the main character has found. And I'm interested in that, you know, and like the other mysteries. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna take a little break from this now. At least we've read what I said I was gonna read, because at literally 4 pages in I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I want to read at least 50 pages this morning. Ideally, I'd like to finish this book today, but I'm not gonna push myself too far. But like, I just want to get this book done. And then I really want to like start really persevering to The Outsider, because, you know, February, it's coming to a close. So like, I gotta finish these books. I'm gonna try really hard to read a little bit more tonight. This book isn't even that long, but it's just, I don't know. It's not for me, but I need to know what's gonna happen. I finally locked in on a character who I think it is, because I don't like when people suspect it's someone like 2 pages before the real, because it's like, we didn't guess it then. Also, when people have like multiple people, I'm like, well, then you didn't guess it, because then you're just picking a whole bunch of people. I think I know who it is, and I think I've worked out the motive and everything, but I want to know if I'm right or not. So I'm gonna read it. And the thing is, right, is I think it'd be fine. I don't know, this book has potential and promise. Wow, what a riveting Saturday night for me. Guys, every night is a party. Not her calling the motorcycle guy a Viking. Lucy's score, is that you? Is that you? Things we never got over. Is that what that book is called? I miss Emmy so much. I have some more thoughts for this book. So you know what? There are actually aspects of this book that I like. There are some times where I will read a sentence or two and be like, wait, I actually kind of like that. In this book, it's times when it is mentions of the scenery. I like that. And obviously, I love when the cat attacks her. I'm kidding. What I just don't like about it is a lot. But, you know, I'm being nice. I just think that this book had so much potential and there is so much that could have been done with it. I do like the little, so little, but the whole aspect of that Cora case. So basically, she finds, main character, she finds this, I don't want to say too much about this book because this book is really short. But anyway, there's like a small, like, little other mystery subplot that's going on. Because obviously we have the active murder case, and then we have, you know, in the past, there was this woman that was convicted of something, and it's like, well, did she not, like, what's going on? So like that, it's just the things that the dialogue, the inner monologue, just things like that, it's just, I really cannot get behind. But I'm almost finished this book. I'm on page 224, and I think there's like 280 pages of this or whatever. So I've done a pretty good job. I am now going to watch the Hunger Games and go to sleep. This is the first hurdle. Once I finish this one, then I feel like I'm going to easily knock out The Outsider, and then I'll just want to get Julia done just to get Julia done. I mean, it's not that bad, guys. However, I will be rating it 1 star at this point in time. Who knows, maybe something can happen out of left field that I'll be like, wow, 2 stars, but at the moment it's 1 star. But well, 1 star, I suppose. But I'm not going to DNF it because I don't believe in DNFing. And I feel like the reason why I'm not going to DNF it is because it's like, the whole point of me doing this read or unhaul it challenge is the books I selected were books that if I was someone who unhauled, I would just get rid of them all. And I kind of want to prove something to myself because I did buy this book with the intention to love it. So then therefore, I'm just going to read it and prove to myself that I shouldn't have just gotten rid of it. What am I saying? I don't know. But it's like, if I bought this, then I need to read it, you know, because it's like, well, then you shouldn't have bought it then. If I break up the reading process, it's not bad at all. You know, I wish I was a really fast reader. Like, I'm not like the active reading, I'm not a fast reader. I just like dedicate a lot of time, and I'm very smart about the times in which it's actually really annoying me that my thing is upside down. So I finally finished this book, guys. I can say that like the ending of it, I actually quite enjoyed my experience at the end more than the beginning. Honestly, I really liked the idea for this, and I really liked different aspects of the plot. I just, some of the things that were said just made me like, you know, I did not guess the murderer. You know, when I said I locked in, and then the other people, they weren't even a guess who ended up being. And I will admit, I was like, who? So I didn't guess it, so that's really good. Yes, I love GD. Favorite character in the book. I know I said I was gonna give it 1 star, but honestly, I don't know what's happened, but I'm kind of getting 2 star vibes. I don't know, it's like it's in the like, yeah, it's like 1 to 3 star range, so I'm just gonna give it a 2. That feels mean. And, you know, I didn't have like that bad of an experience with it. I'm glad I finally read it. But the idea was so good. So many things with the plot was so good. And, you know, there were quite a lot of descriptions, particularly of the landscape, that I liked. And I really liked, there's a specific part of the book when she does this kind of research, when she does the research. I mean, okay, well, there's actually quite a few different parts, but the one I just read was about her researching the library. But I liked the mystery aspect of the past, the new mystery aspect. I liked it, figuring out everything. You know, I wish maybe like the ending was a bit drawn out, and then there's like a specific thing that happens at the end, and I wish we got to see it in its entirety. Instead, we just see like, oh, this is what happened, and this is the outcome. And I'm like, well, I would have liked to see the entire thing. Why do my ears look like that? So I would have liked to see a little bit more of the ending, because I feel like, you know, we go through this entire book and then the end is just done, and I'm like, oh. So I wish we got more of that. And I don't know, maybe there's going to be more about her friendships in the next one, because we also found a reveal from one of her friends, and we don't really, and then there was like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like reading too much into it, but there were a few situations that I was like, oh, is she being excluded, like what is happening? But it's not, I don't know, guys, I don't know, maybe I just won't read it. I'm not going to read it, maybe not. This is the first book done, and that's, yeah, I'm going to now just read The Outsider until I go to sleep. It's 11:36. I am going to have to get up kind of early because my thing in the morning is very early, and one thing about me is I hate traffic. And I will leave earlier than I need to. to avoid traffic. That's, oh, I didn't get fuel. And I don't want to get it on my way because I'm not going to one specific fuel station. I need to get fuel. I don't want to get it. Okay, whatever. I'm going to read The Outsider. This isn't The Outsider, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to read it. Yeah, but I'm glad I finished this today. Like, it took me quite a long time to read this book, and it is less than 300 pages. I really should have gotten fuel. It's fine. I keep waffling. I'm literally so confused. I don't understand how it can be that he can be in two places at once. So for that, I'm just gonna, I literally cannot stop reading because I'm like, well, I just want to know, like, I just want to know. And things, it's very interesting. There's a little tiny mini glimpse into the police and how they can misuse their power, which I thought was interesting. But then, I wonder if that's gonna be explored a little bit more. Overall, I'm actually really enjoying this. Like, my first initial impression is like 4 stars. So I guess we'll see. Also, I didn't realize like how quickly the month was. Like, I have 2 days left of this challenge. So we gotta get a move on. Okay, so as you can see, I've made a lot of good progress with this book so far, just because the main thing is I'm just like, I want to see how everything unfolds. And there are so many, creepy elements in this book. And it's just, things that I think, because the elements are things that was scary to you, like, as like a child. So for example, without spoiling anything, there's like a scene that plays on the whole, like, being afraid of like the monster under your bed when you're a kid kind of thing. And also this book, it does definitely explore a lot of really like problematic members in societies, their thoughts and opinions and the things that they say. It's just like, wow, that's very problematic. There are people actually like that in the world. What a deplorable thing to say. Like, that is such a problematic thing to say. Okay, there's a book that was released. It's called Holly, and in this book, Holly is in this book as well. So I'm not sure, maybe that's definitely something for me to consider in the future. Yeah, I think the curiosity has definitely just like piqued my interest a lot with this book. But there are just like so many things where it's like, oh, I'm gonna say one word, and if you know, you know. But straw, and like, what? And like what that means in the realm of this story. Oh yeah, also Holly is definitely like a very interesting character. Well, she's a character that's like definitely piqued my interest, so I'm very curious into knowing more about her and everything. I'm so relieved I finally finished this. I forgot about Sime. Also, when I first read this book years and years ago, I just remember like wishing that we got like more from Julia, because also I did not like, okay, Winnie, oh my god, that just reminded me, yeah, we used to call him Winnie, and we were like, oh, Winnie's so pathetic. Yeah, it was just 17-year-old me just hating on Winnie, and me and my friends were just like, oh, he's so like pathetic and like whiny. I thought the entire world was like so interesting. But yeah, I definitely was so intrigued by Julia, and we were like, Julia deserves like so much better, like especially the way that Winston was thinking about her. Like, I know it's the thoughts, like, because but still, but I'm very like interested to see like what it's gonna be like through her perspective. So yeah, guys, this book is so nostalgic so far. I love it. I'm so glad I'm reading it. Okay, basically let's talk about Julia. So definitely this book explores a lot of the mistreatment towards women that was happening in 1984. I mean, you kind of knew that when you're reading the book, but it didn't really get delved into because like everything was from Winston's point of view, because it was third person limited. So even though it was third person, it was just all what Winnie was experiencing. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't call him Winnie because I forget, like, basically, okay, for reference, I know his name is Winston, okay, but when I would discuss 1984, we would call him Winnie, just because we just didn't like him. Like, I don't know, we just did. It was just, I don't know, I was 17. The book, there were so many, like, aspects that was just, like, it was just sickening, but I appreciated that because I was like, wait, yeah, that makes sense. It was really interesting seeing how things happen, because even though I read 1984 a long time ago, like, it is stuck in my mind because I've reread that book so much. Like, it's just ingrained in my mind, so many of the themes of whatever. I also found a few screenshots of like my thoughts from there and stuff. They're very basic, very limited, because obviously it's on a notes app. Like, my actual thoughts were in my English book, which has been in the bin for quite a long time now. It's so interesting seeing how like this author wrote Julia's, showed Julia's influence to 1984, because you wouldn't have known that, you know? Like, it was just interesting seeing her, like, behind the scenes and in situations when she was with Winston, just seeing, you know, her thoughts and what she was thinking. And, you know, because a lot of the things that Winston would babble on about, I feel like, I don't know, the way her reactions of things was a lot of how, I don't know, I guess other people, or at least the people around me, like, we also had the same reaction, like, Winston, like, what? I want to say that the torture scene was harrowing. It was harrowing in 94, harrowing in this one. Like, the whole rat. Like, she's smart, though, because, like, and then the rat, and then, like, look, I really wanted to give this book 4 to 5 stars. Like, I was expecting to give the book that. I was expecting it to be in that range. But it's honestly giving more 2 to 3 stars. And I'm gonna settle on a 3 stars because I don't want to give it any less than that, but I cannot give it any higher than that. If I would pull it down. Like, I prefer near the end of the book, like, if you've read 94, like, where everything goes down. That was the best part of the book, in my opinion. I feel like that was also written better. That whole section. I don't know. I don't know. I could just make no sense, but, like, in my opinion, that's what I thought. So maybe what I think the author did was, like, wrote that scene first. I don't know. I feel like the author may have, like, been inspired by that entire shenanigans, and then, like, wrote that, and then, like, rewrote that a lot, and then the other stuff, it was like, we just have to write something. But, you know, I'm just assuming, so, like, that's not true. Like, I'm just assuming things. Okay, I don't know. This is my personal opinion. I don't know. I wish that, honestly, I would be very interested to see George Orwell write a book from Julia's perspective. I would have really been interested in, like, seeing what he would have done, and if he would have written Julia the way this author did, because Shannon Newman, still the same, because I don't know, I feel like he might have, like, watered her down, but I would have been interested to see, like, what it would be like. Or I wish that, like, it makes sense because, like, Julia was just, you know, Winston had his thoughts about Julia in his book. I do wish kind of, like, we got more about Julia in 94, but it's not about 94, whatever. Also, some of the writing and the word choices icked me out so much, and, like, the way things were described, I was like, ew. But yes, it was very interesting to see precisely what happened to her. This is my Goodreads review. I'm just gonna, like, really quickly, like, read it out. Okay. It says, look, I first heard about this book 3 years ago in my English class when my friend was like, did you know there's a book from Julie's perspective when we were doing our 1984 unit? Ever since then, I've wanted to... Oh my god, drop on this... Sorry, I almost panicked. I thought that I had a quiz due, but I did not. Ever since then, I've wanted to read it, but I've had 3 years of expectations and assumptions of what this could be, and I think that because of that, I cannot give it a higher rating than 3 stars. I don't know if I'm glad that I read this. Yeah, I don't know if I'm glad I read this, honestly. Oftentimes I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I read this, but I don't know, really. I don't know. I realised that I should probably have the book with me, so let's just put Julia there so we can see it. Yes, normally I am like, oh, I wasn't my favourite, but I'm glad I read it. This one, I genuinely don't know if I'm glad I read it or not, because there was something about knowing that there was a book written from Julia's perspective of 1984. And for reference, like, I gave 1984 5 stars. Like, I really like that book. Like, even though, yes, like, obviously there were things in it that I was like, I still gave it 5 stars. So this one, I don't know. I think, again, I just had, you know, things that I was expecting, or not expecting, but things I was just, maybe I had an idea of, and then I was just like, I was left feeling a little disappointed. And I don't know if, like, that is, like, what anyone else would think, but I just felt, like, disappointed. And I was just like, oh. So now I'm like, well, like, if I was, like, I would have written things differently. Let's just go with that. I like that Julie was actually a character in this, because in 94, well, we saw her when we saw her, so I'm glad we saw her more, blah, blah, blah. I was gonna try to write an entire review, but I don't want to anymore. Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to, like, for Goodreads, I often don't do anything, but I'm like, maybe I do want to, like, put more effort into Goodreads, because it's just so sad when I scroll through and it's just read the book and I don't even have a rating, or I don't have a review. Like, there were some books where I was really good about it, and then I think I just burnt myself out because I was literally writing, like, essays for, like, books that did not need it. Like, I was writing essays for some contemporary romances that were, like, less than 300 pages long, and it's like, you don't really need to be doing all that. I've been trying to get better at rating, but my problem is that I think of rating and then I'm indecisive about it, and then I'm like, no. Like, for example, Finale, I get that book 5 stars. That book is not 5 stars. So I want to drop it down, and now I'm thinking, and I think it dropped down to 4, but now I'm like, maybe it's 3. And I'm like, wait, but, like, I literally thought it was 5 stars, so how can it be 3 now? You know, so I just get like, oh, but what if I put it, and then I have to remind myself, just because I write one thing at one point in my life doesn't mean it's going to be set in stone forever, and I don't have to have it set in stone forever. You know, I can change my mind if I want to. You know what I'm saying? I said the rat scene, however, and the whole shenanigans surrounding that. Now that
that was 5 stars. The start, meh. Ending, alright, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I need to reread 1984 and then reread this. But will I actually ever do that? Who knows? I don't know, maybe. Maybe, you know, in a while we can. But I don't know. That's just this. That was what I thought about this book. I'm glad it's off my physical TBR. Am I even happy it was on the physical TBR in the first place? I don't know. Guys, I don't know. This just was not, I don't know how to say it without being like mean or articulating my words in a better way. But it was just not necessarily it. I don't think. And it also took me such a long time. Like, this book, I could not read it physically. You know, so you know how I caved. I now have an Audible subscription because I was like, this was the only place that I could find the audiobook. Wait, was it on Spotify? I think I checked, did I? I don't think it was, because I was like, wait, I can't even, maybe it was, I don't know. But I was like, okay, I'll get Audible just for this book. So, you know, maybe that's why I had to read this book. Whatever, now it is time for me to do my wrap up, if you will. My wrap up of the books. I brought these, okay? So, in this Read It or Unhaul It video, yes, we read The Perfectly Proper Paranormal Museum, The Outsider, and Julia. Books that, you know what, aside from this video, I would have never thought to pair these 3 books together. I never would have. Let me just kind of give you a small little wrap up, because if you're at this point, for me, it's been ages. Like, for me, it's been actually long, because what is the date currently? Yeah, Friday the 14th of March. So, yeah. Was this February? Yes, but also I'm giving myself, you know, it was the first month I ever did this. This month, however, the month of March, the 3 books that I want to read for that, I will actually read. Like, I'm not going to not read it. You know, like, I'm not going to then be, it's not going to be this thing where I carry over. And I know that the whole point of the challenge is if you don't read it, you unhaul it. But technically I have read it. And I'm just hoping you guys understand. Could have been so good. It could have been so good. There were so many elements that, you know, you pull it out and, you know, we're good. But just, will I continue on with this series? Absolutely not. Then we have The Outsider. Again, I think it's when something has an interesting premise and you kind of have it in your mind like, wow, that is so interesting. And then it's not what you, or like, it just wasn't. I'm just like, oh. So that's it? I don't know what I was expecting. Well, I do know what I was expecting, but it just wasn't this. Like, I think I told you guys some of the things I was expecting. And then when I was reading, I had more ideas, and then they just weren't right. And I was just like, oh. I mean, it was alright. The Outsider was definitely my favourite out of all 3 books that I read. And then it will be Julia. And then that one. That's the ranking. And then obviously, Julia, we just had. I'm very conflicted. And you know what? I'm not at the stage yet where I can unhaul, but I might. You know, I might. And whoever gets this book here, they'll see all my thoughts. Wow. I was like really mean. You know what I need? I need someone else to read this book and then annotate themselves and annotate what they think. This video, it feels like it's taken me 10 million years, but I cannot wait until I can just put everything together, because I finally finished this and then I can just, you know, move on, because I have been like, I can't start the March books without reading these, the February ones. So finally it's done and I'm just so relieved and glad that it is over. And yes. Okay, I think I've covered everything. If I haven't, I'll talk about it in like the March video, maybe. That's all I have for you. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.